Hello everyone, this is Cutlex for another video with commentary. This time we are looking at my semi-finals match versus Levankua. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm doing my best, but if I murder your name, it is not on purpose. Sorry, Jigomu. Okay, so anyway, I have pulled up the monsters that we've drafted, and as you can see, we have some real powerhouses drafted on each side. The Levankua's side has a bunch of debuff monsters, and on my side, I have a bunch of charge monsters, and a little bit of sidekick, and a little bit of might. So there's a lot of latent power in these teams. And on my opponent's side, I was pretty sure I was going to see Grummy and Mad Eye alongside some Death Blow mons with Pumagus and Rainbow Blob. And then following, or with, beyond that, there are also some pretty strong monsters. He's got uh, Pangamoto, which will be a supremacy monster. So while they're adding a bunch of debuffs, they'll get a bunch of charge, which could potentially do some spicy stuff. And there's Diavola, which is a Mass Mystify monster, which next to Mad Eye and Rainbow Blob could be a full Mass Mystify lineup and could do some really unholy things. So I'm mostly expecting a debuff comp, and on my side, I drafted in my last frame the Drakazul alongside Ninki Nanka, which is really fun, as those are both dragons, and they both have uh, cold moves, water moves. And as such, with Dragazul in play, they're both going to add a single chill to every monster on the opposing team. With the crit chill that Dracozul has, that means that on turn one, you can put 3 stacks of chill on the monster of your choice and then 2 stacks on everyone else, which is really annoying and especially painful because the Dracozul will probably also put some number of barrier on the rest of your team. So I'm looking at that. There's also some additional barrier support in Targot and with the improved barrier, I think, or there's barrier on Goblin Warlock. So I'm looking maybe at a barrier team. I'm thinking I really want to use Dracozul because Dracozul is broken. But there's also Dodo, which is support. So we've got now 2 sidekick support mons with Graphonics, who really likes the additional hits, but none of my other attackers really care about that. So it would be, a few sidekick mons, not really some good sidekick support, and then anyway, I eventually decided that the easiest way to go forward with a strong team is to build charge with the dragons for some chill and barrier support. That maybe I can put up some barriers and apply some chill to slow down his debuff team. And even though he has Tanuki, Tanuki doesn't really fit well on a debuff team, so I'm thinking that that might work out just fine for me. So we're gonna go at it with a charge and sidekick slash barrier dragon setup, and we'll see how that goes for me. Okay, so now we can see my opponent does indeed have a bunch of his debuff mons, but he brought Tanuki and Yukan, which makes me think he might be trying to blend some buffs with debuffs, but it doesn't really change my plan because regardless of what he was going to do, I was pretty sure he was going to bring Mad Eye, and Mad Eye's weak to fall magic. So Dracozul is going to get to exploit and put chill on stuff, and didn't really like. Honestly, even though we basically put 3 barrier on the entire party, that's sort of a low roll. So I decided that we wanted to make sure that we killed that Mad Eye, so we picked a magic attack, which put poison on everybody instead of another chill. But now Tanuki comes in, gets rid of all of my debuffs, puts a blind on my team, which doesn't really matter, because you'll see on my team. But now I have to survive this attack back. So Brulu gets a pretty low attack with 16, puts some debuffs on me, and I'm expecting a big Cataclysm here. But maybe the Cataclysm doesn't look good because the combo's relatively low, because Tanuki does basically everything except high combos. So it looks like the best option for Levankua, which is his in-game name, is just a Lava Rush on my Drakazul. He knows that I don't have a healer, so that damage is going to stick around. And now I'm trying to figure out what my best path forward here is. I want to stack up more barrier, but with Targo, you jam that Mass Protect. And we are going to try to attack the mana on that Rainbow Blob. Now, I said earlier that the Tanuki's line doesn't matter, and that's because Targoat has a Purifying Mace, which, in my mind, unless you have something extremely specific, is just the best in slot item for Targoat to get rid of one stack on all of your monsters, to get rid of a random blind or a wound or, tether. It's really nice. So I didn't really get much accomplished on my turn because I think I have a build problem, which now, is becoming common in my videos. So my Nanka couldn't do much damage to get a kill, and now with that nice fat ult from Grulu, Lava Blob had no problem single targeting down my Drakazul. So now my Dragon Core has been breached, and Scorch comes into full offense on Ninki Nanka and to try to get something knocked down. We've got to do something here. We've got to knock that blob down to its Phoenix affinity, or maybe we kill that Tanuki. Look at the preview. We've got good previews on the Tanuki too. But hey, we've got this AoE, and it looks like it's going to be a full kill on the blob. And Blob lives with just the tiniest sliver of life, continuing my streak of being punished for being greedy on AoEs. So now we've got Grulu, who's taken off a bunch of my buffs because he's got Dispel or something, and he gets a 26-hit Solar Blast, which is more than enough to completely wreck my my goat, even with 5 barrier. So now I bring in Brutus, who is a perennial favorite of mine, but I have problems using Brutus. I think I might not be smart enough to correctly use One Punch Monkey. But regardless, I put a full offense on him because I'm thinking I've got to kill this blob twice. And if I put that on Monkey, we could potentially do it. But there's just not enough gas in Nanka's tank to knock down that blob. And so now, once again, I try the Ram Charge to try to do damage to the rest of this team so that they can't just hide behind barrier, and I'm punished for it. I think I got a random weakness on there on Brutus, which prevented the first kill on Rainbow Blob. So now I'm really in trouble. We've got Graphonics, and I check to see if my ultimate is the Gift of Life, and it's not, so I concede. Now, the other interesting thing that you may or may not have seen was another move that may be missing on Graphonics that I didn't notice before. And if you didn't notice, maybe you're in the same camp as me. And I'm sure it won't come up later. So now I've gone back to the drawing board. I pulled my Dragon Core out because I really was not impressed with Ninki Nanka. As much as some people in the community love him, Ninki Nanka has been almost nothing but a failure for me. And I wasn't going to go down another game because of Nanka. So I swapped in DPS Vertrag, and I brought in Amberligna, who is a slower support, but once it gets going is extremely strong, and it works really well with Vertrag. This game, however, I decided to bring in Scorch first for the full offense on Vertrag so that I could get a turn 1 kill. I'm really, for this entire match, I'm trying as hard as I can to keep Levin from having that opening line. Grulu, Mad Eye, and Rainbow Blob. That is just a murderer's row. If they get a single turn where they can all act, it's going to be a ton of combo. I'll probably get my line wiped. So I kill Mad Eye. Tanuki comes in, and now we're seeing a similar line as before. And Scorch goes down. Which, you know, Scorch, not the most resilient mon, but now I've got Amber in, and Amber adds an aging stack to all insects and ancients, which are all aging and ancients, insect. I can't remember what the racial on him is, but it pumps up Vertrag, and now Vertrag has almost full sorcery, a full bar of shield, and these previews are looking pretty good. I'm looking to see whether I can get greedy. And after last round, I say no. We're just gonna take that single kill on Blob, and we're gonna, hey, look, with the Earth magic weakness, Amber with the third attacker is enough to bring down Blob's second life. So now Blob's gone. The Blob can't hurt me anymore. The Cataclysm Nightmare is over for this game. But what fresh hell awaits me with Konga? Konga does have some strong neutral attacks, but he didn't break my Protect. So I guess he's gonna, yeah, he does an AoE. And you can see, doing an AoE took down the entire shield on Vertrag. So Konga is a pretty legit threat to my fully set up Vertrag. And Vertrag is looking at the previews. Vertrag is all set up now and is going to do a bunch of damage. So we're going to use the ult on Goat because I don't have to do a Protect. And I didn't want to use the buff. Try to get some more shield, get rid of those debuffs. And now Vertrag is all set up. I can't use the ultimate because I used it on the Goat. I'm looking at the Void Flare, thinking if I'm going to get real greedy, but I just disregard it instantly. And I'm looking to see what the best thing I want to do here is. I'm thinking hard about taking down that Tanuki, but I really want to kill Konga because as it collects buffs, it's going to do more and more damage. And I don't know if Vertrag can handle a single target attack. So I go for Konga, and with the 34% dodge, I get lucky, only 2 attacks miss, and I take him down. Now we're down to the Crab, and I'm a little bit worried here because Crab's pretty strong. And if Crab ends up with some buffs here, Grulu can put in some big combo, can dispel my buffs, and put a bunch of armor break on me. But that was a pretty low roll, so I feel pretty good here that Crab is not going to kill anything. And I see here that he brought Crab with a Giga Drill. And Giga Drill is a huge threat to Vertrag, but I think maybe my opponent didn't realize that Vertrag was under Protect. And the Crab now used its ult and can't use it for 2 more turns. So now we know we got to get rid of this Crab because if I leave it around, it's going to devastate Vertrag. So I'm seeing this. I'm thinking maybe I'll get greedy with this Blaze. No, we can't. We'll be punished if we get greedy with the AoE. Or we'll just have 70% of my attacks miss. And Crab, like a champ, is now sitting there with 3 stacks of might. We've got an Ion Beam taking down the Protect. And look at the roulette rolling on that. 30 hits on that Ion Beam. And with the bleed, Vertrag took a pretty big hit, but is still looking good. I think unless the same thing happens again that happened last round, I feel pretty good about it, but I'm really not counting my blessings yet. We have to take down this Crab, or else it's only going to mean worse things for Vertrag. Vertrag hasn't restocked its shields. It has 3 armor break. He probably won't survive another hit, but it's fine. Oh, Vertrag does so much damage. Each individual hit there, I think, kills Crab. And I think it got hit 6 or 7 times. So he got deleted, and now Levin's checking to see whether, Rulu can make it, but he can't. So I'm running the same team again. I think Levin's got the same team as well. And I decide, yeah, we're going to run Amber first because with that additional age stack, it's going to put another 15% shielding on Vertrag with that other age stack. So it really increases his durability. I should make it to my turn with Vertrag. And a pretty good opener on Mad Eye, gets a 15 hit combo. But it looks like not a good damage preview for Blob. So he's trying to decide who he's going to hit. And he goes for some damage on Amber, which to me is fine. Amber's really good if it sits there and builds up. But if he takes it out and I get stuck with Scorch is going to come in and give Vert a big full offense and then maybe ult and wipe the team. But right now I'm looking to see how much damage I can do with Vert, and it looks like I cannot take out Rainbow Blob on the second action. So we're going to take down this Mad Eye so that he doesn't untap, so to speak, with all three of those monsters. And we're using Snow Veil because Snow Veil with combo buffing gives Vert some buffs, including a mandatory barrier, which is really good with Targoat in play, who has multi-barrier. So now we've got Vertrag in play with 3 barrier, a full line of shield, 4 aging, and a Targoat protecting it. So Levin brings in Crab, and I'm not really sure why he brings in Crab here. Maybe he thinks that he's got an AoE, or if he's got a move that he's going to combo build with Rainbow Blob. Maybe Rainbow Blob, I guess Rainbow Blob doesn't have a neutral attack, and he's really worried about the drag. Excuse me. But it looks like he's after Amber. He must think that he doesn't have a good preview this turn for drag. So he takes the kill, and Amber goes down. And now Scorch is going to come in. And I have to decide whether I'm going to use Scorch's I use Scorch's AoE here to heal up Goat while giving some charge and buffs to Vertrag. And I'm thinking now, at this point, I'm thinking, oh, I should have used the ult on Goat and then got rid of more debuffs. And then maybe, but it's fine. Vert is looking here like I could start working on that Rainbow Blob, but I kind of want to kill that Crab before it can use that Giga Drill on, before it gets ideas of using Giga Drill on Vertrag. So now the classic line from games 1 and 2 is in. We've got Tanuki with Brulu and Rainbow Blob, and I get a nice bounce there where Tanuki dispels all the buffs except for a weakness on Rainbow Blob. So now Rainbow Blob, his ultimate, whatever he's got, his Cataclysm. But he doesn't have Cataclysm, he has Rocket Launch to try to deal with Vertrag, I guess. So everything is critically injured except for Vertrag, which is kind of funny. But now we've got Brutus coming in, and I've got Flurry of Blows max on him, so if I want to, I can build up combo. I'm looking to see how much damage Vertrag is going to do here, and I still, second move, cannot take down that Rainbow Blob. So now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to try to kill here. I could try to bring down that Tanuki, or I could AoE to see if I could do an ult. And I'm thinking I'm just going to put the wound stack here on Tanuki. I should be able to kill this Tanuki now with one of these attacks. And the question is whether I want to try to add more buffs. It looks like I need more buffs on Vertrag, so I attack here. And once again, Levin's running the hacks here and accidentally just has 80% dodge on his monsters. So Tanuki survives that pretty easily, and now I'm looking at something is going to take a big single target hit from Rainbow Blob. And it turns out that Goat goes down. And now here we are. I've got my Graphonics coming in, who does not have an AoE revive, and I'm looking here to see what I need to do to win this. And I'm thinking that I still need to kill that Tanuki, but maybe I need to work down the Rainbow Blob because that the Conga's going to come in and has a pretty strong neutral attack. So maybe I just need to take down the attackers. No, I decide with my Graphonics with no buffs is going to be my combo builder, is going to add some combo and target a little bit of health off of the Tanuki. And now we're back to the dilemma of I think I can win the game using Brutus correctly here, but I'm not sure what the line is. Do I AoE? Do I single target? Do I use the ultimate to try to put multiple wounds up? Do I have power focus? So if I survive until next turn with 34 charge, even with that blind stack, the AoE, and Tanuki gets one dodge there, which saves him. So now I'm thinking I'm in pretty big trouble here. I've got no way to deal with these blind stacks. We have Grulu, who is indestructible and has a decent acid hurricane, putting a bunch of armor break on me. And I think Rainbow Blob just is at the point where it can kill at will. It has enough buffs and combo. Yeah, it doesn't even get the crit on Brutus and takes him out with no problem. And now I'm looking, where's my revive? And there's no revive, so I jam the spark shower, and I see how awful my kills are, and immediately go put revive on Graphonics. To be honest, I probably should have also put the revive ult on Graphonics, considering the way that I've been using in this match. But I just go back and I make sure that revive is put on Graphonics, because right there in that match, if I had revive, I'm pretty sure I win the match, because Vertrag, or win that game, not necessarily the match, because Vertrag is very strong and he can kill Brutus if he wants, and Graphonics has to be killed twice, which Blob can't do. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It looks like I didn't make any other changes, but it looks like Levin brought in Diavola for Mass Mystify, but I see that his Diavola is a shielding Diavola, and I'm immediately relieved, because I think the shielding Diavola is not very good. If he had an attack Diavola there, I think that he would have about 5 more combo, and I'd have more debuffs on me. He'd have more buffs. But, you know, it still might be enough. He's got 27 combo, but it isn't. He misses a crit. I think he's got a crit build on his Rainbow Blob, and he misses his crit. And he doesn't even get through the shield on Vertrag. And I'm trying to decide right now whether I want to dispel these buffs or whether I want a full offense. I decide, you know what? We're going to throw the full offense on here. We're going to get a couple of those debuffs off, and we've got to start killing things. I can't just sit here and try to deal with this debuff line. We have to be a bit more aggressive. And I really want to kill Grulu here, but you can see that tiny sliver of life saying you need a crit on Vertrag to kill him, and it's just with my luck in this match, it's not going to work. So am I going to kill Diavola? No. We're going to leave Diavola. We're going to break the Phoenix Revive on Blob. We're going to say, okay, if you've got a big Blob ult, come and hit me. But I feel pretty confident that he's not going to have enough combo to have a devastating ult because of this weakening shield, instead of using one of the Diavola's attack moves to proliferate. But there's always a chance here if he hits a jackpot with Grummy or Grulu, but he doesn't. And even with the somewhat low roll, he still devastates the team with that ult on Rainbow Blob. Rainbow Blob is just such a terror. So now I pull the trigger on the ult for Scorch, and we're going to go ahead and use shield, even though maybe I should have done it the other way and had Scorch use restore on Vertrag, but I don't think it matters. Either way, I have a decent bunch of health here, and it looks pretty likely that I'm going to kill Blob. And I decided I'm going to use Arcane Diffusion because if somehow they all miss, at least I'll get his debuffs or his buffs. But we get there. We take down Blob, and now he's got Congo, who is strong but not buffed up very well. And we'll see what Congo can do after a solar burst from Rulu with a sort of moderate outcome. So he's got 26 combo, a single stack of sorcery. I'm thinking that we'll be fine. And his ultimate is a wind move, a wind magic move, which Goat is weak to, and Goat does not make it. So now I've got my both of my charge supports in that can heal, and I'm thinking I could restore Vertrag, but no. I don't want to bring in my other DPS when Scorch goes down, so we're going to heal up Scorch. We're going to remove some more debuffs here with the attack action from Amber. We're going to get some more charge, and we're going to see what we've got here. So it looks like I have a decent preview on Conga, so I just take it. And even with those dodges, it's enough to take Conga down. And now I feel pretty good. Grulu is a pretty strong debuffer, but I don't think it has enough damage to be able to take down these monsters at this point. Even though Vertrag has 4 armor breaks, it still has 2 barrier and 4 aging, so it's going to be tough to break down. And if he takes down one of my supports at this point, I don't think it really matters. So I feel pretty good here. So Levin decided to do Grulu second to try to dispel some of the buffs. And he's attacking now with Diavola. So this is another reason why I was pretty happy with him bringing shielding Diavola, because the attacking Diavola can add bleed and does a decent amount of, I shouldn't say decent, does some damage, more than that. So I would be much more threatened at this point by the attacking Diavola. So now Amber is going to just do Amber things. We're going to get a bunch of channel on the rest of the team. Those channels are going to heal everybody, and then they're going to get charge stacks from it while healing people, doing damage, and taking debuffs. And I decide finally we're going to pull the trigger on the AoE ult, and I instantly get punished for it. I get a weakness put on Vertrag, which steals the kill off of the Tanuki. So I'm feeling a little bit salty about that, giving Levin another chance to roll his dice at the casino. And he gets a 20 hit, which is pretty good, but not great. I still don't think that's going to be enough for Diavola to kill my Vertrag. So ultimately, I don't think it matters. But now I'm really getting like my hubris is really being put on display here. I really need to be careful about taking those AoEs when I could just try to guarantee a kill. And here we go. I don't even look at the other ones. I just grab the debuff or the dispel item and I just go for it. And this should be enough. Yeah, the opponent, there's nothing he could do at that point. So now here we go. I have the same team, and Levin has changed his team up. He's brought in Asura, and I'm thinking this is a Vertrag counter. And I'm thinking I don't really want to bring Vertrag into Asura because I assume he's going to lead with it because I've been leading with Vertrag. But I'm looking at my other DPS, and none of my other DPS have a water move. Vertrag's the only one with a water move. So I decide eventually that Asura is strong and has strong single target attacks, but he doesn't get godly strikes on turn one. And his turn one damage as Asura is not really that good. So I don't even bring in Amber because I'm thinking that I need to full offense Vert to strike back. But Vert takes more damage than I thought. Vert is down, I think, less than half of his health. So now I've got to decide if I'm going to use full offense or am I going to heal Vertrag? Because if I don't heal Vertrag, I'm going to lose him. I think with Tanuki and Konga, who I didn't realize had full offense, which that's awesome, I will lose Vertrag if I don't heal him. And I don't think I'm ready to go down my DPS on this turn against Asura, who has Phoenix Affinity. So I'm looking at mine now, like, okay, if I get lucky here, and I don't miss a single one, it looks like my Vertrag has taken some accuracy lessons between games 2 and games 5. But now I do have to deal with the fact that I'm assuming Asura has godly strikes. And he's got full sidekick. He's got full, I shouldn't say full, he's got 3 stacks of glory. But because of the full protect, he can't just AoE on Konga. And here we go. We dodge one, we dodge 2. And because we dodged 2, I think dodging those 2 attacks let Vertrag survive that godly strike. And now I'm just looking at my numbers here. It looks like I almost can kill him on the second attack. So this should be a pretty good preview. I don't have to use full offense. I can use a heal. And we get 2 stacks of sorcery. So now I feel pretty good about the fact that we're going to be able to kill this Asura. He gets 2 dodges, but it's not enough. He needed 1 more dodge, and he would have survived that attack. And I don't know if he would have killed Vertrag now with 4 stacks of barrier, half shield, and full protect. But you never know. But he's got Mad Eye, and he's shifted Mad Eye to be the Mass Mystify Mad Eye. So now when it puts on debuffs, it's going to buff the other team. And it should be a decent number of debuffs here because of Cataclysm. Cataclysm goes off. He gets some decent combo, and it's not enough. Vertrag easily survives that AoE attack from Konga, even though he's weak to it, and I'm feeling pretty good here. Vertrag should clean up this game as long as I can take down Konga. But I do have to take Konga down. Konga's got a barrier, almost full shield, and I think he's got dodge. He's got spell shield. So taking down Konga is definitely not a guarantee with the way that the dodge luck has been going in this game. And do I want here to heal my Scorch, or do I want to take this weakness off of Vertrag? And I decide, take the weakness off, heal him up, get a couple more buffs, and try to shore up those defenses in case this doesn't work. And I decide to take down Mad Eye because I guess I wasn't feeling confident in taking the kill on Konga. But now I've put myself in a bit of a precarious situation here. I'm thinking now, at this point in the match, I'm thinking I may have made a mistake there. I probably should have gone for Konga and at least dispelled some of his buffs, because Grulu could have done much worse to me there. I got lucky with a low roll on Grulu's attack. Otherwise, I would have lost Scorch and would have put me in a much different position here. Instead, Scorch is going to heal himself 2/3 of the way up, get rid of all of my debuffs, get another heal here from my Amber, and now it's looking like I should have a decent preview on Conga. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm trying to decide if I want more buffs. I think I need to just look at all those buffs. I've got to dispel those buffs. Even if I miss the kill, I've got to do something about those buffs on Conga. But I could take down the Tanuki. No. Tanuki is too resilient. I ship it for Conga. I bring Conga down. And now we have my opponent's classic lineup, a strong lineup. And we're going to see here now with the Ion Beam directly on Vertrag because Goat's gone. There's no protect. He gets 24 hits. He dispels a bunch of buffs. Thunderstrike with no crit is able to take him down. I'm now trying to figure out what the best way to take out the rest of this game is. And I decide to bring in with Vertrag and Scorch out. I feel like I can get enough charge onto Graphonics here that it'll be fine for him to come in. And I'm looking at my preview here. Rainbow Blob is weak to that. He can't dodge it. So I think we've got a good chance here with this extra charge. Did we get, we got 2 stacks of sorcery. We're shipping it. And with the last attack there, we were able to knock Rainbow Blob down to his Phoenix Affinity. So now Tanuki is going to have to decide here if he wants to use a full restore or if he's just going to use his standard mass restore. And then we're going to be seeing what Grulu does. If Grulu can pull off a big hit here, we could be in trouble. I'm thinking now, 20 hits, that's enough for the Blob ult, but he doesn't do the ult. He does Poison Eater, which knocks Graphonics down to his Phoenix Affinity. But now I've got Graphonics with 40 charge stacks. I'm feeling like the preview on this Spark Shower, yeah, it's second with 8 combo is at a point where Graphonics is going to take him down. And I think, yeah, can't dodge. So that will bring down Blob. And I don't think these guys can take out my team. And neither does Levin. So that's it. That's the match. Levin put up a real strong fight with his debuff monsters and his Tanuki, which I had the chance of picking, and it almost doomed me not picking Tanuki. So Levin put up a great fight. Thank you, Levin, for the battle here. Good luck in the 3rd place match. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you guys in the finals.